बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Shri Radha Govinda. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagandhagunatham Vitantam Sajivam Radhvetam Savadutam Parijam Krishna Shri Radha Krishna Radha Sagamata Shri Vishakambita Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shurnyavadi Paschateshakarine Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhuva Evacha Patitanam Bhavneyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपी कांत राधा तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय जय हो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम में गातिशयम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम Hare Krishna everyone. Okay, so I'll share the presentation now. Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome all to the Bhakti Shastri English match. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So in our last class, we completed first part of chapter 1. Now we'll go on and complete the remaining portion. So just to summarize what we discussed in the first lesson, aspects of Prabhupada's mood and mission revealed in the preface. So we did a run through of the preface of Bhagavad Gita and tried to understand mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. That's very important for us in order to get into the same mood and understand the same mission. If at all, we target to become preachers, and we should all target to become preachers because that's the very objective of doing Bhakti Shastra. Overview of the first 22 shlokas of chapter 1, we saw the liberal nature of Brahmanas. So can anybody explain what did we discuss in the first point? How did we discuss the liberal nature of Brahmanas? What did we discuss?
Hare Krishna Guruji, can I?
Yeah, sure. Shrikish Prabhu, go on.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in this we had a discussion on Dronacharya's nature, how liberal Brahmana he was, uh, because his so-called enemy, King Virat, he has a son, Drishtadyumna, who is supposed to kill uh, Dronacharya. But as a liberal Brahmana, he knows everything, but still he taught the military science to Drishtadyumna, which might in future he is going to kill him. So by this we can understand the liberal nature of Brahmanas.
Correct. So he knew that Drishtadyumna is going to kill him. Still, and because Drupad was his enemy, and through a yagna he had gotten the son, but knowing that very well, he still taught him military sciences. Example of Duryodhan's diplomacy. Anybody wants to explain on that? Briefly explain. How did we understand Duryodhan's diplomacy? Briefly, you can explain. No need to go in details. We did a lot of discussions.
Yeah, I would like to share a couple of points about this.
Mataji,
Duryodhana's.
very clear.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's better.
Yeah, with regard to Duryodhana's diplomacy, I would like to cover up a couple of points. After seeing the Pandavas' army arranged in a proper manner by Drishtadyumna, the fear has inculcated in his mind. And it is not out of the respect he has come to the Dronacharya to meet him. It is out of the fear he has come to Dronacharya, and he was again showing his duplicity while telling him that in spite of knowing that Drishtadyumna will be the cause of Dronacharya's death, he has taught him that particular military science. That is one thing. And he's also trying to remind the enmity of Drupada. That is one thing which I would like to point out.
That's one point, very good. And at the same time, he's trying to praise the warriors of Pandavas. And while he understands that he has done a lot of it, he tries to now praise the warriors on his side. So that, at the same time, they are fully pumped up to fight and they don't feel demotivated. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Arjuna is depicting his flag with Hanuman. So we understood how Hanumanji helped Ramji. And Prabhupada writes in his purport that Ramji himself is present, Krishna is present, and Hanumanji is also present. And on top of that, Arjun himself. So everyone is present, and there is no cause that Pandavas will lose the war. And Arjuna ordering Krishna. So what was the order of Arjuna to Krishna? What was the order?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Kanvat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, Arjuna will ask Krishna to place the chariot in the middle so that he can see both the parties.
Very good. So that is where we ended, where Arjuna said to Krishna, Krishna, can you please take me in middle of both the armies so that I can see who are the ones who want to fight. So this is in shloka number 21 and 22. Arjuna said, oh, infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here, who desires to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms. And we discussed therein how it's not possible for a warrior to really see who all are there to fight because he should have done all that preparation before. After all, it's a great war, but it's more of Maya, which Krishna spells on Arjuna, so that Bhagavad Gita can come out of his mouth and we are able to benefit from it. And Krishna is able to control the senses of everyone, and that is why he is known by a particular name. What's that name?
Rishikesh.
Rishikesh. Very good. Because he can control the senses of everyone. Not that Arjun is in Maya. Arjun is a great devotee. He is Nitya, Sakha. He is always taking part in the pastimes of the Lord, but Lord can control the senses of anyone. And then discuss the application of Prabhupada's statement regarding Vaishnavism and violence. And we then again discussed on this sensitive topic how Vaishnavism and violence is related. At the same time, we discussed how it should not be misinterpreted. And we gave some instances also. So today in our class, we'll be discussing on purport. where Prabhupada has specifically mentioned where violence is justified, and there will be a group discussion on that. So proceed now. So how is chapter 1 arranged? So first shloka we have seen the doubts of Dhritarashtra. He says, I want to understand what is going on in the field. Then shloka 3 to 11, Duryodhana's diplomacy. 14 to 20, signs of victory from the Pandavas. So how many signs of victory did we see for Pandavas?
6.
5, Prabhuji.
Okay, what are they?
Conchal, Lord Krishna personally present there, goddess of fortune, and chariot is given by Agni Dev, and Hanumanji is marked on flag.
Okay. Anyone else? Any further reason? Somebody said 6.
Mokshada Ekadashi, Prabhu. The war started on Mokshada Ekadashi.
Okay, so is that written in some purport or it's our personal, intelligence which has come in play?
No, I heard it somewhere in the Bhagavad Gita class only.
Okay, fine, all right. So I think Prabhupada did mention anywhere in the purports, and we limit ourselves to what the acharyas have said. But it's a good reason. Okay. Now today we'll cover the next two brackets, shloka 21 to 27, 27 to 46. Krishna as Bhakta Vatsala and Arjun's core reason for not fighting. If you see, chapter 1 is known by two names. What are the two names? What are the two names by which chapter 1 is known?
Prabhuji, once Srila Prabhupada gave observing the armies, and second was Arjun Vishada Yoga.
Very good. Observing the armies, which we see Arjuna has already ordered Krishna, please take me between the two armies. I want to observe the armies. And we will see what he sees and how he starts to feel. But we will see how observing the armies slowly becomes Arjuna Vishada Yoga. It becomes reason for his Vishad, for his sorrow. So that's related. So that is why it's known by two names. Okay. So he starts to observe, but then while observing, it becomes reason for his Vishad. Dharma Kshetre, religious field. We had a long discussion in the last class on this. Somebody wants to read this shloka? This is 18.70. You can please open shloka 18.70. Somebody wants to recite?
May I, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Sure.
18.70. यस्य नाहंकृतो भावो बुद्धिर्यस्य न लिप्यते हत्वापि स इमालोकान् न हन्ति न निबध्यते. One who is not motivated by false ego.
Which one are you reading, madam?
18.17.
70.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, text 18.70.
Yeah.
अध्येष्यते च य इमं धर्म्यं संवादम् आवयो ज्ञानयज्ञेन तेनाहं इष्टस्याम् इति मे मतिः. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence.
Yeah. So one, I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. Sometimes some people will say, what is the need of learning or discussing about the great Yodhas? What is the need of knowing why Arjun wants to inspect the armies? Bhagavad Gita is philosophy. Let us discuss philosophy direct. So we must understand, you should not try to filter between the 700 slokas, which you should read, which you should not. Prabhupada says, this itself is Krishna. Anything related to Krishna is Krishna. So even discussing about the warriors is discussing about Krishna. And Krishna declares, who studies this sacred conversation? He doesn't say, who studies the sacred conversation relating to philosophy. He doesn't say that. He says, this sacred conversation. Anything, any conversation that is happening between you and me, including, okay, please take me between the two armies. Oh, what is happening? What should I do, Krishna? Every conversation is important, and that person is serving Krishna by his intelligence, by his buddhi. Okay. So we should be clear that do not try to make any portion of Bhagavad Gita redundant. Do not try to filter and say, okay, we'll not read this, we'll read this. Now come to shloka 1.25. Anybody wants to recite, please?
Can I, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
1.25, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Bhishma Drona Pramuktaha Sarvesham cha Mahikshitaam Uvacha Partha Pashyetan Samavetan Kuruniti.
Thank you, Prabhu. You can read the
Yeah.
translation also.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, "Just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here."
Yeah. Bhishma Drona Pramuktaha, which means Bhishma is grandfather, Bhishma Drona is Drona, and Pramuktaha in front of. So Arjuna said, Krishna, take me between the two armies. So now Krishna has brought Arjuna between the two armies, and what he's saying, then in front of you is Bhishma and Drona. You can see your grandfather, Bhishma Pitama, and you can see your teacher, Dronacharya. And then what he says, Pashyatan Samavetan Kurun iti. Kurun means Kuru, members of the Kuru dynasty. So also see the members of the Kuru dynasty. So Prabhupada is writing, in the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. So he said, Arjun, please see all the Kurus who are assembled here. So you need to understand who all are present in the war. And this is important because when Arjun gives excuse of not fighting, his observation of the Kuru leads him to the conclusion, I do not want to fight. We will see why. So Arjuna's reason for not fighting, and that is why this chapter is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Compassion. So let's come to Shloka 27. So suddenly what happens? Arjuna is seeing his family members, he's seeing the Kurus, he's seeing his grandfather, he's seeing his teacher. And then he's filled with compassion, daya. So if you look at Shloka 27, one word is used, Kripaya Paraya. Kripaya Paraya means compassion. Kripaya means compassion. I'm getting compassionate. Daya. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. So now when Arjuna is seeing everybody, he saw his friends, he saw his relatives, he got compassionate. Krishna, why are you forcing me into this? I do not want to kill my friends and relatives. I'm getting compassionate towards them. मेरे को उन पे दया आ रही है. I do not want to kill them. Right? Enjoyment. So Arjun became compassionate and then he goes on to say, Krishna, what is it that I will enjoy by killing my own relatives and friends? So Shloka 30 to 35. In Shloka 30, he is saying, I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune of Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. He's saying, my mind has started to reel now. The very thought that I have to kill my friends and relatives, I'm not able to stand any longer. I have no enjoyment in this. See, you try to do a work only when you get enjoyment, you get a rasa. Correct. Rasa is the force behind anything that you do. There's no rasa. Krishna, there is no rasa. I will not enjoy it. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Prabhupada will go on to explain the real happiness comes to you when you share things. Let's say you buy a new mobile. Just buying a new mobile, keeping it to yourself does not give you the real happiness. When you share it, when you show it to your friends, when you show it to your relatives, you become happy. Hey, what a mobile you've got! Then your happiness becomes so. So Arjuna is saying, even if I win in this battle, what is it that I will achieve? Because all my friends and relatives will already be dead. Whom will I show that I have won the battle. There's nobody really to discuss this with you. So I don't want to do this. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? Very clearly, Arjuna is speaking his mind out. He's not a hypocrite. He's not a hypocrite like us. He's saying, I want to win and show it in front of somebody, but if those persons in front of whom I want to boast will be dead, then why should I go for it? For all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. So why are you asking me to fight? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? Better they kill me, Krishna. I don't want to kill them. Let them kill me. Because even if I kill them and all of them are dead, it's of no use to me. I'll get no enjoyment out of it. And whatever kingdom, happiness, or whatever I get, whom will I share it with? Because everybody will be dead. O maintainer of all living entities, I'm not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. You want me to fight and become the ruler of earth? Oh Krishna, if you give me all the three worlds, then also I'm not prepared to fight. So which three worlds are we talking about? Can anybody say? Which three worlds?
Upper, middle, and lower.
Yeah, very good. Upper, lower, and so upper to what? Lower to what?
Earth, Prabhuji.
Yes. So in the 14 planetary system, when we say three lok, means Earth, upper than Earth, lower than Earth. They are called the three worlds. Okay. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Now, here is a devotee speaking. Put yourself in the situation of Arjuna. Suffered so much in their hands. Vanvas, Agyatvas, so many times tried to kill, insulted the wife. And here a devotee says, Krishna, what pleasure will I derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? I know I'll be killing them, I know I'll be victorious, but what pleasure will I get? If you see Arjun's reason for not fighting, nowhere he is saying, I'm afraid of losing the battle. The most logical reason for a fighter not to fight is we have the fear of losing. Arjuna has no fear of losing. His heart is a devotee's heart. In spite of suffering so much on the hands of Kurus, he's still saying, what pleasure will I get by killing them? So these are the qualities which are imbibed in a devotee. And this is what is also expected of us. Today morning, today is the appearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and we were seeing a presentation by our temple president in his class, Bhagavatam class for the morning. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, do not carry envy in your heart for anyone, even though he is your biggest enemy. Do not carry any envy. Do not wish bad even for your enemies. That's not the heart of a devotee. Devotees always wish good for anyone. Everyone he wishes good for. Friends, relatives, even enemies. Krishna bless them. Why? Otherwise, you're not a devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said something about it. Can anybody tell me? When can you do Nam Sankirtan? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said something about it, and we read daily, Chaitanya 6 How should our heart be? How should a devotee be? Anybody?
Pranadapi
Pranadapi
Sunicena,
Sunicena.
Tadapi Sarishmana,
Amanina Manadina.
Amanina Manadena,
Sada Hari.
Kirtaniya Sada.
Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Always give respect to others. Don't expect any respect for yourself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when said, Amanina manadena, that you give respect to others, he did not put an asterisk and say at the bottom, except enemies. No, he didn't say that. He said others. Others means everyone. You give respect to everyone, even if it's your greatest enemy. And that heart, what will we be able to do? Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Then only you will be able to do kirtan for Hari. With heavy heart, you cannot do kirtan. Cannot do. Money nahi lagega. You will be sitting there. You will be looking at the watch. Kab khatam hoga? When it will get over. But when you're light inside, when you're not carrying grudge for anyone, then you can sit peacefully and do kirtan. Isn't that true? Don't you feel that? That if your heart is heavy, really you're not able to take the name of the Lord, right? Correct? If you're feeling bad for anyone, if you're wishing bad for anyone, you cannot even chant. Isn't that right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So that is why Arjun is saying, I don't want to kill them because I'll get no pleasure. And Arjun is saying, Krishna, O maintainer of all living entities. See, he's trying to say, Krishna, you are the maintainer of everyone. Correct? Then why are you asking me to kill? Because you maintain everyone. You should not ask me to kill anyone. So what name has been used for Krishna? For maintainer of all living entities, what is he called?
Janardhan.
Janardana. Janardana means maintainer of all living entities. See, it's a bit sarcastic, we can say, no? Arjun is trying to be a bit sarcastic. He's saying, you are Janardhan and you are asking me to kill some Janas, some people. Why? So that Krishna said, Arjun, you're very intelligent. I forgot I'm Janardana and asking you to kill some people. It's trying to say, na? See, if we talk to somebody and we want him to show some mercy on us, you are so merciful. Why are you trying to do this? We try to invoke him to show his mercy. So he's trying to say, Krishna, you are Janardana. Don't ask me to kill so many people. We'll see what Krishna says. What is the third reason Arjun is giving? Sinful reactions. Arjun is saying, if I kill my relatives, my friends here, I'll get sinful reactions, which means mujhe paap lagega. So 36th shloka, Arjun is saying, sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy for killing our own kinsmen? Again, Arjun is trying to invoke Krishna's mercy. He's saying, husband of the goddess of fortune. So, what name has been used for Krishna?
Madhav.
Madhav. Oh, Madhav, you are husband of the goddess of fortune. Fortune means everywhere it's punya, everywhere it's happiness, everything is auspicious. Now, why are you asking me to do something which will make my life inauspicious? Papa. By calling him Madhav, let me do all that is auspicious. Don't try to indulge me in something which is inauspicious, which is full of sinful reactions. So he's an intelligent devotee. No? Why Krishna has been called Madhav, why Krishna has been called Janardhan. Arjun is trying to do something. Then from the 43rd to 44th shloka, before that, so Arjun is saying, aggressors, even if they're aggressors, we should not kill them. But purport, Prabhupada is mentioning about 6 kind of aggressors who can be killed. Anybody wants to read? That's the very starting, first para. Just read the purport.
Hare Krishna.
to Vedic inventions, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. A poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Shall I continue, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, devotees. Mataji, can you hear me?
We
Yes,
can
ma'am.
hear you. We can't hear Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Please wait, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, sorry, got disconnected. One moment. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Wonderful. Okay, confirm when you can see the screen.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, fine. Sinful reactions, yeah. So in the purport of Shloka 36, Prabhupada is mentioning about some Vedic injunctions where a poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who is plundering riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are to be killed at once, and there is no sinful reaction by killing such aggressors. That does not mean that tomorrow you should go out and kill them. Don't do that. Because स्थान और परिस्थिति के हिसाब से we have to do things. So if you're in jail tomorrow, no, Prabhupada that said. That are the Vedic injunctions, okay? Now tell me whether Kauravas, they fall under this definition of aggressors. Do they?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can we discuss one by one? Tell us. Poison giver. Did they give poison?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu.
To be Prabhuji.
Next. Did they set the fire to the house?
Yes.
Yes.
Laksha Prabhuji.
Very good. Did they attack with deadly weapons?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Did they plunder the riches?
Of course.
Did they occupy their land?
Yes.
Definitely, Prabhu.
And did they kidnap the wife?
Yes.
Insulted Draupadi.
They
Prabhu.
Third, they were
disrespected.
attacked by one of their friends to kidnap. So all the six are satisfied. So which means what? Which means they are to be killed at once and no sinful reactions will be there. All right. Okay, 43rd and 44th shloka.
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
one point. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this point number 3, one who attacks with deadly weapons. So I just wanted to know in which instance the Kauravas has attacked the Pandavas with the.
Anybody wants to point out when did they attack? When did they attack?
Prabhuji, when the Pandavas were under the shelter of King Virat.
And what happened?
So there was a war happening over there.
Correct. So Kshitish Prabhu said when they were under the shelter of King Virat, they had tried to attack. And not only that, there were innumerable instances where Kauravas had tried to attack Pandavas. They are always trying to attack them. Okay? 43rd and 44th shloka, if you come to. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. Now, actually 43rd is more of reason number 4, destruction of dynasty, which we'll discuss there. 44th shloka, alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit great sinful activities. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. So Arjuna is trying to be a philosopher, saying it's actually the desire to enjoy bhog. Rajya bhog is what is inspiring all of us to fight, but this is really very ghastly. We should not do this. And then second chapter, 5th shloka, Arjun says, it would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. even though desiring worldly gains, their superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So Arjun is really sad. He's not being a hypocrite. Because we'll see when he puts his bow and arrow down, he's crying. He's crying. He's saying, what's the point? I'm killing all my teachers. And even if I win, everything that I will enjoy will look tainted with their blood. There's no point fighting. So he has given three reasons till now: compassion, enjoyment, sinful reactions. The fourth reason he gives is destruction of dynasty. He says, पारिवारिक परंपराएं नष्ट हो जाएंगी. Why? 37 shlok we'll read. 37 to 43 is where he explains all that. O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one family or quarreling with friends, why should we? Who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. So, what happens is when you kill the elderly persons of the family, there is nobody to teach you or guide you through the traditions. So, family traditions are vanquished, and when that happens, family becomes irreligious. You see, currently, all the youngsters they want to live independently. And when you ask them, did you observe this festival? They say, what is that? They've not even heard the name because really there is no elderly person with them to guide them and teach them this is what has to be done on this particular occasion, this particular festival. And then what happens? Then the family becomes irreligious. They really don't know what to do. Classic example, when families, you see marriages are happening and something has to be done as per tradition, they look for somebody, some taiji, some dadiji, some naniji who can guide what has to be done. Nobody really knows what has to be done. Correct or not? So family has already become irreligious. But Arjun at that point, 5,000 years back, was saying, Krishna, if I do that, there will be ramifications. Families will become irreligious. So what? Next sloka. When irreligion is prominent in the family, oh Krishna, the women of the family become polluted. And from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. Now, elders are not there, families become irreligious. And when family becomes irreligious, women become polluted. See, women, as per Shastras, always need shelter. First, they need shelter of their father, then of their husband, and then of their sons. And in wars, when males are killed, there's really nobody to give them shelter. Irreligion has kicked in the family and they become polluted. Why? Because enemies, they take advantage of the women. Women are of tender nature, they need some shelter. And the ones who have won the war, the males take advantage. And when they take advantage, what happens? Comes unwanted progeny. So the child which is born is now not good to carry on the traditions of the family. So what are they called? They are called Varna Shankara. You can see the shloka, shloka 40. They are called Varna Shankara. Varna Shankara means unwanted progeny. So then what happens? An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family traditions. So see, one by one, logically Arjuna is explaining. First he says, elders you kill them, family become irreligious. Next he says, family becomes irreligious, women become polluted, comes unwanted progeny. Varna Shankar. Varna Shankar, when it comes, then what happens? Population increases and it causes hellish life, Narka Jivan, for both families and they destroy family tradition. Because those child have really not come in a proper tradition, they destroy family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down. पितर जो हैं वो गिर जाते हैं because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. See, a lot of families, most of the families, they offer food and water from Pitr Paksh to Pitr. Arjun is saying, if there is Varna Shankara, they are not interested in offering food and water to the Pitr, to the ancestors, so they fall down. They fall down means what? With them providing the food and water, there is chance that they can still do some bhakti and go to Vishnu. But then if you don't do that, they will further fall down. See, your activities, your pious activities, your ancestors also benefit. But if you stop all those pious activities, your ancestors also fall down. And then what happens? By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kind of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. And it has a huge ramification for the society as a whole, because such unwanted progeny, such Varna Shankar, they destroy all kind of family welfare activities and community projects. So, logically, Arjuna has explained to us that family traditions will get destroyed, and the one who is responsible for that will dwell always in hell. The fourth reason, solid reason. Put yourself in the position that Arjun is speaking to you. Say, Arjun, don't fight. You have given us 4 solid reasons. I really can't defend. I can't really reply to you. Indeed, you are a very good person. You are compassionate. You have told me you don't enjoy killing your friends. There's no enjoyment. And yes, there is path, there is sinful reaction and destruction of dynasty. So if you read all this, you'll think Krishna will be convinced, because he has really given very solid reasons. And if you didn't know that the war really happened, you will think the war may not happen, because these are solid reasons. But the war did happen. Krishna is the most intelligent. Arjuna is intelligent. Krishna is the most intelligent. We'll see in chapter number 2 how for each reason Krishna gives reason and proves that whatever Arjuna is thinking is actually sense gratification. See, if somebody tells us, "Bahut daya hai aapke andar, you're very compassionate," say, "Oh, thank you, thank you." It's not thank you. He's trying to satisfy his own senses and not trying to satisfy the senses of Krishna. Krishna says, "Fight." I will not fight. I'm very compassionate, Krishna. See, I don't want to kill them. You give me 3 words, then also I'll not fight. What are you trying to do? You're trying to satisfy your own senses. You're thinking your reasons are better than the reasons of Krishna. So we'll see next chapter how the way Arjun thinking is not right. So we'll come to Shloka 1.27 again. Somebody wants to read the Shloka?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
तान् समीक्ष्य स कौन्तेय सर्वान् बन्धूनवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टो विषीदन्निदमब्रवीत्. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus.
Kripaya paraya vishto. Kripaya means what? By compassion. Paraya means of a high grade. Avishta means overwhelmed. When the son of Kunti, Arjun, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion. So you can identify those words, underline those words. Which word says that Arjun became compassionate? Kripaya paraya vishto. And we already discussed that in detail. Enjoyment. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives. So this is what we were discussing, and this is what Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport. Whenever we have some opulence, whenever we have a victory, we want to show to our friends and family. But Arjuna feared that all his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield and he will be unable to share his opulence with them. What is that victory for when I'll not be able to share it with anyone? He's thinking Krishna is not so important, my family is important. Now you see. He's thinking, Krishna, you're not important, you're asking me to fight, but I ignore what you say. because more than you, my family is important. Although he is devotee, therefore, in the lower stage, of devotion, one may be interested in Krishna consciousness, but his real interest is how to improve this material life. Now, this is very important. All of us now, we are in Bhakti Shastri, and somehow at the back of the mind we think we are fixed up. We are gradually growing in Krishna consciousness. But when life really puts some situation before you, you will understand, I am interested in improving my material life. I'm interested in reducing my pain. I'm interested in increasing my wealth. I'm interested in living more comfortably. I'm trying to overcome some sadness. All material pleasures. So material pleasures is not only wealth and money and car and house. It also means trying to reduce your pains, your sorrows, your sadness, because that's all related to your body. When a situation comes, it puts you in the thinking mode. I'm trying to chant for the last 3 years, 4 years. I'm trying to be sincere in Krishna consciousness. I'm following four regulative principles. Why Krishna is not being so kind on me? Why I'm not being able to overcome this sorrow, this sadness? Isn't it? We are not even Kanishta Adhikari. So Prabhupada is saying those in the lower stage of devotion may be interested in Krishna consciousness. We are not saying you are not interested in Krishna consciousness. You are.
Can you all hear Prabhuji?
No,
No,
Mataji.
Mataji.
No,
No, Mataji,
his
he is
video has
not
also
audible.
stopped. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Mataji.
I'm sorry, once again it's happening. Internet is flickering. But can you hear me now?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Now,
Prabhuji, when you said from there, we could not hear Prabhuji two times. You said live, we are trying to become Krishna consciousness and we have situations like we are sad, we want to increase wealth. From there, we could not hear Prabhuji.
Yeah. So I was trying to give you an example of one of our Prabhus in the temple. His name is Vrindavan Prabhu. He's MD Ayurveda, didn't practice, straight joined the temple trying to serve Krishna, and he doesn't too much get into public. So this conversation happened with him around 10 days back, and his beard was grown, his head was not shaven. So I told him, Prabhuji, can I help you? He said, no, I don't have money. See, he actually has no money. He has no money. You can't believe a person living with no money. I said, no problem. Why don't you come to the temple? We have some razors and all you can share. He said, no, that will take me 2 hours. Okay. And he's saying, I'm finding it difficult to distribute books now. Because what he does when he distributes books, he gives the money to the temple and a portion of it he uses for his daily activities. And he was saying, I said, okay, if you're finding it difficult to distribute Bhagavad Gita and big books, why don't you distribute small books? People will easily buy 40, 50 rupees books. He said, I'm not in the mood to distribute books now. I said, why? No, I'm in the mood to preach. I said, why? If I distribute books now, that will mean sense gratification because I need money to shave. Because he needs money to shave, if he sells books, he will use that money to shave. That is why he does not want to sell books now. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? We can't even think of it and he's living it. And he did not sell books. He did not sell books. Because yesterday I saw him in the temple and he was shaving using used plates. I told one of the Prabhu is using used plates. So don't worry, Krishna is protecting him for last 30 years. And he's doing that. Can you imagine? The kind of detachment and the kind of nishkam karma, we can't think. So we feel a bit fixed and we think, we are great devotees, Krishna conscious. We are not even a starter. We have not even started. Yeah. So Prabhupada is saying, real interest is to improve material life. Now you understand? Now it is easy to accept. Yes, my real interest is actually to improve material life. Arth, Artharthi, Jnani, Jikyasu. 4 kind of people come to me, Krishna is saying. Arth, Bahut Dukhi, very, very sad. Wants to come out of a situation. Artharthi, Krishna, give me this, give me that. So if these 2 people are coming to Krishna, before they become pure devotees, the real interest is to improve material life. Yes or no? Yes. Let's accept that. Let's not shy away from that. And Arjun here was trying to do the same thing. It's not that he's not a pure devotee, but because Krishna is Rishikesh. Krishna is Rishikesh, so he's controlled the senses of Arjuna, and Arjuna is saying, Krishna, you are not important. Important to me is my family. So the real interest is to increase material opulence. Sinful reactions. Yeah, somebody wants to read Shloka 1.36?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I read Prabhuji?
Yeah, fine, Mataji.
पापमेवाश्रये तस्मान् हतदैतान् आततायिनः तस्मान्नाहं वयं हन्तुं धातराष्ट्रान् सबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हृत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I read translation?
Read the translation, please.
Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen?
Yeah.
Shall I read purport also?
No, Mataji, thank you. Papam eva shrayat asman. Papa means vices, eva means certainly, ashrayat means must come upon, asman means us. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. You can mark those words. Sometimes people say, where is it written? It's written here. That sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. We already discussed, so we are not going to detail now. Destruction of the dynasty. So we saw how logically Arjuna explained, starting Shloka 39, ending 42, death of family elders, as we discussed, वरिष्ठ जो हैं परिवार के उनकी मृत्यु होती है, then eternal family traditions vanquished because there's nobody to guide you what to do. So your traditions is vanquished. Now what happens? Family becomes involved in a religion. You see where your dadi, your grandmother, your grandfather living with you, children, grandchildren, they don't get into bad habits of drinking, smoking and all. You will find that families, joint families, children are much better controlled rather than where children are living alone because family elders are not there. family becomes involved in irreligion, degradation of womanhood, then unwanted progeny and community projects and welfare activities devastated. So this is important. You should note how logically Arjuna has explained devastation or destruction of the dynasty. Arjuna cast aside his bow and arrows, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Now what has happened? Oh. Arjuna was saying, Krishna, I'm ready. Take me between the two parties. I want to inspect them. And now he's saying, Eva Muktarjuna Sankhe Ratho Pastupavisat Visrijaya Sasaram Chapam Soka Sambigna Manasaha. Shoka Sambigna Manasaha. Sanjay is saying this. Sanjay is narrating to the Dhritarashtra. Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Aap soche, you think a great warrior, he even got Pashupat Shastra from Shivji, great warrior, in midst of a live battlefield. It's not a dummy, it's not a practice, it's not a preparation, it's a live India-Pakistan war. And Lieutenant General says, he puts down his gun, I'm not going to fight. That situation. The main protagonist in live situation puts down his arrows and bows. Thank you so much, I'm going back. Why? My mind is overwhelmed with grief. It's like a kid, small kid, very good in studies, but when he sits for the exam, becomes nervous. I'm not going to get this exam. Same thing has happened. Great warrior. And in middle of the battlefield, he says, I'm not going to fight. The situation is so tense now. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance. This should be clear in your mind. Arjuna cannot be in Maya. But because Krishna is Rishikesh, he has put him in Maya. But Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generations of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. So you should understand this, because a lot of commentaries will misinterpret the situation and try to question the ability of Arjuna. So this should be understood as an arrangement by Krishna, so that Arjuna questions Krishna and Krishna answers, and Bhagavad Gita is thus spoken for the benefit of the future generation, for us. Then man could act accordingly and perfect the mission of life. You see, and that is why entire Bhagavad Gita is in the form of question and answer. That is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. If you try to read other holy texts, you will see only philosophy, very difficult to comprehend. But Bhagavad Gita is question and answer. Even in your material education, when you read question and answer, it's easier to comprehend and understand rather than just reading through concepts. That is why this has been question answer format, so that you can easily understand what situation Arjuna is, what question is asked. Oh yes, I can relate to this. When Arjuna will ask, Krishna, whenever a sinful activity is done, it looks like somebody is forcing us to do sinful activities. I don't want to do. Most of you will feel the same. I don't want to do. I didn't want to do. Somehow I did it. Correct? Then Krishna will explain, because of this. So you can put yourself in that situation, and that is the way it is spoken. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, now.
Yes, we lost you, Prabhuji.
That's what I thought. 1.40, anybody wants to recite? Hare Krishna.
Adharma bibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyah strishu dushtashu vashneya jayate varna sankaraha. When
Jayate,
irreligion
yeah.
is sorry.
Go on.
When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted. And from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is trying to highlight the point of Pradishyanti Kulastriya, which means that women become polluted. And that is what we've already discussed. When irreligion is prominent in the family of Krishna, the women of the family becomes polluted. And from degradation of womenhood, O descendant of Krishna comes to Varna Shankara. As children are very prone to be misled. You see, Prabhupada is giving a good comparison here. See, children, you can easily misled, no? Small kids, people can just say, come, I'll give you this, and they'll go behind him. Women are similarly prone to degradation. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent, therefore not trustworthy. So this we have to understand in a proper way. Let's go to 1.40 purport and read that purport to understand it better. Anybody wants to read the purport of 1.40?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I? When a good population in human society, I think Prabhuji has got disconnected.
We can hear you, Mataji. Go ahead.
Okay. Good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashrama religion's principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashrama system. On the failure of such Varnashrama dharma, naturally the women become free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence.
Prabhuji got logged out completely, Mataji's and Prabhuji's. So I guess we'll just have to wait for him to join.
Yes, Mataji.
Please submit your attendance in the meantime. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
How to submit the attendance, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, sorry. I don't know, there's some problem with internet today.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, we can hear you now.
Mataji, you can make me the host, I'll share the screen.
So sorry, Prabhu, so sorry.
Okay, so somebody was reading purport 1.40. So, yeah, continue reading, Mataji. Please start.
Good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashrama religion's principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So, the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the Varnashrama system. On the failure of such Varnashrama dharma, naturally the women become free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Madhu. So there are 3 points we must discuss here. One is, and we have to really keep an open mind here, that women are tender by nature and they want shelter, as we discussed. They want shelter of a man. See, man is physically strong, women is mentally strong. So before marriage, they take shelter of their father. After marriage, they take shelter of their husband. And after the husband dies or becomes old, they take shelter of their son. And this is according to Shastras. That's the first point. When that shelter goes away, they are prone to be misguided by other men because they're actually by nature looking for shelter. Number 2, Kali Yuga, everybody is a Shudra, men or women. So there's nothing like men, women, or men is superior than women. Everybody is a Shudra, and Shudras are at an even lower platform. So even men are Shudras. Number 3, and this is by one of the Matajis, who's a teacher who was trying to explain this point in class, that sometimes what happens, women, they have the tendency to take upon themselves, they being the reason for whatever is happening in the lives of their husbands. So what I mean is, anything in the life of the husband, they want them to be responsible for that. Anything happening in the life of the husband, women wants herself to be responsible for that. And in that, what happens, in the race to do that, tendency to do that, she sometimes acts in a very less intelligent way. For example, in a newly wedded couple, the husband, after 1 week of marriage, does a very good cooking. Now the wife wants herself to be the reason that my husband is a good cook, but that's not the reason. Probably the mother taught him cooking. But that very tendency is, oh, I should be the reason that my husband should cook. So this is what one Mataji was explaining. And this results in a woman acting in a less intelligent way. So 3 broader points we should understand. Number 1, women is of tender nature. She wants to take shelter. Number 2, Kali Yuga, everybody is a Shudra. So women, men all are actually at a very lower platform. There is no real difference. And third is the tendency for women to become the reason for anything happening in the life of their husbands. Chanakya Pandit says, never trust the politicians or women. Of course, when women comes to Krishna consciousness, that position is different. So your position is different because you are in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada said, why I am successful, one of the reason is because I allowed Matajis to serve. Even Brahmacharini ashrams are open. So women in Krishna consciousness, they are different. Even now, outside India, the temples where presidents are women. Even in our own temple, Matajis are most wonderful teachers. Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayaprada Guru Maharaj, when he came to know, he announced in Bhagavatam class that ISKCON Mangalore Mostly the teachers are Matajis and they are doing really good job. So women in Krishna consciousness are different. We are speaking of ordinary women. Krishna says in other place, Striyo Vaishyakata. So we'll discuss that later. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that when the women becomes unchaste for want of proper protection, there are unwanted children called Varna Shankara. To insult a chaste women means to bring about disaster in the duration of life. That's all we discussed. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjun did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that should be all. So, as we discussed, what is the heart of a devotee? The heart of a devotee is not to retaliate. It's not to retaliate. That does not mean, see, this generally question is asked, how should we react when something wrong is being done to us? What you should do is, okay, you should try to do something for yourself so that nobody is able to take advantage. But in spite of that, if things continue, in spite of your best efforts, you should try to accept. What it means is that it's Krishna's plan. If somebody, you're sitting in a house and some thief comes and wants to take away something, Krishna's plan, no, you stop him. But if he overpowers you, don't be mad after it. Try to pursue something, try to, okay, let's say fight for yourself, but only to an extent. Don't be mad after it. Don't spoil your life after that. Accept. You feel somebody has done bad to you, okay, good. Try to get some solution out of it. Try to lodge a complaint, for example. But if nothing is happening in spite of you trying, accept. Don't become mad after it. Try to remain in Satoguna. Don't let Rajoguna and Tamoguna overpower you. That is the position of a devotee. He's not a fool. Remember, devotees are not a fool. You should not allow this to fool you, but at the same time, if things are not happening the way you want it to happen, accept it's Krishna's plan. Like Prabhupada, when he was trying to get the land for Juhu temple, the man was trying to cheat him. All the devotees saying, Prabhupada, let's accept it's Krishna's plan. Prabhupada fought. Ultimately, he got. But at the same time, he did not stop his preaching for that. He did not stop his travel plans for that. He did not stop his book writing. He was doing everything. So he was not mad after swaying, but at the same time, he was not letting it disturb him. That is the position of a devotee. Okay? And in all of this, complete reliance on Krishna. Violence also has its utility. So, we were discussing Vaishnavism and violence. Where violence has its utility. Come to purport 2.21. Very good purport. Hare Krishna. Somebody can read purport number 2.21, please. Ataji, Hare Krishna. Who's reading?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yeah. 2.30, 1.31.
No, not one.
I do not. Sorry, Prabhu.
2. Chapter
2.30. Okay.
2.21.
2.21.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I read?
Yeah, Prabhu. Everything has its proper utility, and a man who is situated in complete knowledge knows how and where to apply a thing for its proper utility. Similarly, violence also has its utility, and how to apply violence rests with the person in knowledge. Although the justice of the peace awards capital punishment to a person condemned for murder, the justice of the peace cannot be blamed because he orders violence to another person according to the codes of justice. In Manu Samhita, the law book for mankind, it is supported that a murderer should be condemned to death so that in his next life he will not have to suffer for the great sin he has committed. Therefore, the king's punishment of hanging a murderer is actually beneficial. Similarly, when Krishna orders fighting, it must be concluded that violence is for supreme justice, and thus Arjuna should follow the instruction, knowing well that such violence committed in the act of fighting for Krishna is not violence at all, because at any rate the man, or rather the soul, cannot be killed. So for the administration of justice, so-called violence is permitted. A surgical operation is not meant to kill the patient, but to cure him. Therefore, the fighting to be executed by Arjuna at the instruction of Krishna is with full knowledge. So there is no possibility for sinful reaction. Hare Krishna.
See, such a good purport, and so a lot of questions get answered. Somebody says, no, why Krishna ordered fighting? A lot of people, they are envious of Krishna and think they will say, he ordered fighting, so many people will kill. Here you get the answer. Everything has its utility. Prabhupada is saying everything has its utility, including violence. So how can you decide? A man is situated in complete knowledge. There you have to understand. You don't take it upon yourself that you can decide when to apply violence. No, because we are not situated in complete knowledge. So what we have to do? We have to take shelter of the acharyas. We cannot decide. Our mind cannot decide. We are not situated in complete knowledge. So don't ever get into the situation that you are deciding for yourself. Oh, Shastra says violence. But Shastra, Prabhupada explained, a man in complete knowledge. Are you in complete knowledge? No. Then don't decide. Then what should I do? Sadhu, Shastra. You take shelter of that. Go to your Guru. See what Shastras are saying. Don't take it upon yourself. Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So, 2-3 good examples Prabhupada is giving. One is about a judge, a justice of peace. Justice of peace means judge. When a judge is punishing someone and ordering or awarding death sentence, Shastra says it is good. When a murderer is sentenced to death, it is good because that means his karmas will stop in that life. He does not have to carry that sins in the next life. Otherwise, you'll have to suffer in the next life. It's good for you. When a kid is doing, let's say, when a small child, he steals some chocolate from the neighbor's house, you don't tell him good, you slap him so that his karma, his activity stop there and tomorrow he doesn't try to steal something bigger. There's a famous story when a thief was being hanged. He said, what's the last wish? I want to talk to my mother. Mother came and in her ears he said, Mother, it's because of you that I'm getting hanged. You could have stopped me when I made that small theft. You didn't stop me, so I became such a big thief. So it's good for us that we are stopped then and there. It's good for us. But when he gets death sentence, you cannot blame the judge for that. The judge is just trying to follow law. It is you that you have to take responsibility. And then there's another good example of a surgical operation. When some surgery is done, it is not meant to kill the patient. You say, no, you're cutting my body. What are you trying to do? You're trying to kill. No, doctor is not trying to kill you. Doctor is trying to cure you. But the process involves violence. The process involves violence. Cutting your body is violence. But it's not meant to hurt you. It is meant to cure you. So when Krishna is ordering violence, we have to understand it is for actual benefit of all. It's supreme justice. Prabhupada has used the word supreme justice. उसके ऊपर और कुछ न्याय नहीं हो सकता है. That is the highest. And that is how we have to understand. It's meant for the good of all. So everything has its utility, including violence. Okay, I think we have already done it. We'll try to use breakout rooms from future sessions. Okay? The other side, Duryodhana, why he did not think in that way, why Arjuna is thinking, because he is devotee. You see, Arjuna is saying, Krishna, I'm feeling compassionate. What benefit will I get? I'm not enjoying all this. I'll get sinful reactions and the family tradition will get destroyed. Arjuna is thinking, but actually it should be Duryodhana who should be feeling more guilty, because Duryodhana is the one who really did a lot of havoc in the life of Pandavas. But Duryodhana is not thinking that way because he's not a devotee. A devotee's heart, in spite of the suffering, he accepts. See, there's a highest example in Srimad Bhagavatam when the bull and the cow were getting beaten by Kali Purush. And Maharaj Parikshit goes and asks the bull, who broke your 3 legs? He didn't answer. He said, you look for yourself. Say, who is this person who is beating you? You look for yourself. Maharaj Parikshit says, you are not an ordinary person. You must be dharma yourself, because dharma says if you are getting punishment in your life, if you are getting pains, if things are not going well, it is because of your own karmas. Don't try to blame others. Shastras want to the extent that if you even name the person who is trying to create havoc in your life, you again commit sin. Because really nobody can harm nobody. If somebody slaps you, it is your own karma that is committed. Don't try to blame him. He slapped me, he slapped me. No, don't play the victim card. Not every hand raised and becomes slap. Sometimes people stop. So his karma, he was not, he was not supposed to get a slap. He didn't get. But I was supposed to get a slap. I got a slap. My own karma. Don't try to blame others. That is why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, don't have envy against anyone. It is really our own karmas that is playing around in our life. A devotee thinks like that. A devotee does not like to kill anyone, even an ant. So many atrocities were done to him. Still, when the question of killing came, he was not very happy. And that way you feel light, you feel good. Kirtaneya Sadahari, that we are able to do Kirtan for the Lord. That does not mean you are a fool. Try to understand. That means you are situated in knowledge. That means you are situated in knowledge. Don't think if I do like this, people will think I'm a fool. I shouldn't. Because you are able to get peace in your mind, you are situated in knowledge. Still, when the question of killing came, he said, not very happy. No, this is Vaishnavism. He is ready to excuse even the greatest enemy. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate. You see now. Devotees are more merciful. Amrish Maharaj, Durvasha Muni was trying to create havoc in his life. He was more merciful. But Krishna does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotees or the miscreants. That is why we say we should be very careful of committing Vaishnava apart. Vaishnavas are merciful. They will not feel anything, but Krishna will become angry. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Apna maan tale tal jaye, bhakt ka maan na talte dekha. Krishna is really not bothered about what how you're respecting him or treating. He's bothered about how you are treating his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them. If you insult his devotees, the devotees may excuse, but Krishna will not excuse. This is Krishna's position. Therefore, be careful to insult it. Very, very careful when dealing with devotees. See, when a small kid is there, you can try to fool around with him. He will not feel bad, but his mother and father will feel, मेरे बच्चे के साथ ऐसा कैसे किया? I'm not leaving. Krishna cannot mistreat my devotees. A devotee may excuse you, but Krishna will not. Krishna is so strict, he cannot tolerate any insult to his devotees. Therefore, is this arrangement of fighting? Arjuna wanted, no, let them be excused. Krishna said, no, you must fight, you must kill them. All right. Okay. This is okay, we'll skip that. So, chapter 1, we'll just see in summary. With this, we end the discussions and the good points of this chapter. We discuss Arjuna's reasons, 4 reasons for not fighting. We also discussed the progressive steps that leads towards destruction of the dynasty. We saw how Arjuna logically explained that. We discussed the appropriate and inappropriate application of the statement, women are not very intelligent, and discussed the principles of the utility of violence in relation to battlefield Kurukshetra and current issues of religious violence with reference to corresponding verses and analogies. Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord so that human society can be perfectly organized from all the angles of vision, politically, socially, economically, philosophically, and religiously. From any point of view, human society can be reformed by Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada has really told it in so many forums that if you really want to make the society good, Follow Krishna consciousness. He's written so many letters to big leaders. That Krishna consciousness has solution to everything. He's even said that United Nations failed. That was the very purpose for them. But Krishna consciousness has not. So Krishna consciousness has solution to all the problems. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. With this, we complete chapter 1. If you have anything to add, you want to discuss something, ask something, please feel free. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You have given for devotees two types of situations. Like first, you said that devotees are not fools. When somebody is coming to steal or trying to offend you some way, they fight till the end, but don't become mad after it. Now, in the end, you told when someone is slapping you or anything is happening in your life, you
Very good.
accept it. You
How to react.
yourself. So, how to react to real life situations? You have
Very
told
good.
both things.
Yeah. So see, Mataji is saying if something is happening in your life, you are supposed to react in a balanced way. And at the same time, I said, if somebody is slapping you, don't blame him. That's not actually contradictory. Let's take a situation, somebody slapped you. Somebody slapped you, at that point in time, you will say, why did you slap me? Is that the right thing to do? And somebody slapped just out of anger or something. You may try to deal with the situation. And the other person may still hold his ground and make you more aggrieved. But in your mind, you have to feel like a devotee that this slap has come to me because of my own karmas. See, one is external behavior, one is internal behavior. External behavior, you have to deal with the situation to an extent in a balanced way. Internally, don't allow yourself to lose your peace of mind. Internally accept, I'm in such a mess, I'm in such a situation because of my own deeds. That will make you peaceful inside, but at the same time, you deal with him. And if you are peaceful inside, you will not go mad after in dealing with that situation because you have already peace in mind. That is how a devotee has to take a position. Let's say somebody has done encroachment on your property. You're disturbed. You have doubt about it. You take legal actions against him, no doubt about it. Externally, you are behaving. Internally, you are peaceful. Okay, my karmas. Internally, when you get disturbed, that is where your real problem starts, your real harm starts. Don't allow your mind to be in a position of disturbance. Be peaceful inside. Okay, my karmas are hitting me, no problem, but let me externally react to this in this way. Internally, I'm peaceful. Okay, this is what Krishna wanted. Krishna has given anything to me. This has happened. My deeds are coming to me. Let me deal with it externally in this way. Let me, go to a lawyer. Let me try to send some notices to him through the court. I may seek some relief. Whatever that you go on. Internally, don't become mad because you know it's your own karma. People become mad when they feel they are victim. When you say, मेरे साथ किया, मैंने तो सबके साथ अच्छा किया है, I've never done anything to you. Why have you enclosed my property? I will show you who I am. And then you are going home to home, family to family, friend to friend, crying, dealing, internally disturbed. Not a devotee's way of behavior. Don't do that. Then you get disturbed internally and you try to harm yourself. Internally think, okay, this has happened to me, fine, my own karma is hitting me, no problem. Externally, let me deal like this, but internally, I'm peaceful. Okay, Mataji? So it's not contradictory, it goes hand in hand. Anybody wants to add to that anything? Or share some life's experience on that? Okay, fine.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am.
when we discussed in our BV, we had it's related to the question in the question bank, Prabhu. So we don't know if it's proper to ask you, but we had no clue about it. I just put it in the chat to you, Prabhu. Discuss ways the signs of victory connect to Krishna's protection, Vaishnava qualities and attitudes, significance of omens in the life of a sadhaka. The first A and B, at least somewhere we got an idea, but the C we were a little lost. Can you explain it?
No, C is easy. See, signs of victory. So when the conch shell blew, it was really loud. or when you see Hanumanji is there to protect. So what happens in the life of a sadhaka? Sadhaka means, let's say, who's trying to practice Krishna consciousness. You try to get omens. See, now you have to be careful because your mind can try to play with you. And most of the time, omens means you understand. You get some signs. For example, you do very good chanting, 16 rounds morning without distraction. You feel good, and the day is very good. So you already know, you get signs that when I do my chanting properly, generally my day is good. And then from the morning, if you're getting disturbances, if the chanting is not happening properly, you know, okay, the day is going to be a bit disturbed. So you start to get those signs. But be careful, be very careful. Don't allow your mind to play with you because it can take you towards sahajya. For example, when you're praying before the Lord and a flower falls, it's an omen. Now, how you interpret it? Okay, just fell because it was not kept properly. No, whenever the flower falls, it's good for me. See, what happens now, our mind may play with us. So, senior devotees, they say, just follow the process. Prabhupada has a very good, I'll show you in the next class, has a very good lecture in which he says some devotees come to the temple and say, oh, when I was circumambulating Jagannath was trying to pull my cloth. So Prabhupada says, such devotees come to me, what should I tell them? Prabhupada himself is saying, such thing has never happened to me, I'm so unlucky. In our temple, personally, I said, my one devotee came, I said, I was in a bus in Vrindavan and one man was sitting behind next to me and he was blind. But such a tej he had on his face. And when he got down, he held my hand. He knew where he wanted to go, still he was blind, and I knew he was Krishna. What do you tell him? What do you tell him? So you have to be careful. Devotees, senior devotees say, just follow the process. Just follow the process. Don't get distracted. So, okay, yes, there are omens, but whether it's the mind playing with you or whether it's a real thing, you really don't. Yeah. So, yeah, yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, so what are omens actually? Signs of
Some
victory is
signs.
one thing, but omens are like, usually I thought it refers to bad omens.
No, it can be good omen also, no? Isn't it?
Like what, Prabhu, in relation to Krishna consciousness?
That's
Chanting
like,
16 rounds very well, yes, but that's
or
a
like
good
you
start to
chanting
a
very
day.
well, or you got tulsi in your prasadam, or some flower fell when you were praying, or when you were going for an exam, conch shell blew, and good sign, good sign. A lot of things, can be. Yeah.
Didn't pay attention so far, Prabhu. Will do from now. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
No, don't allow your mind to play with you. That's what I'll say. Because it can actually, you can become sahajya. See, that is why balanced approach is required. Why we have been given process, vidhi is so that you don't end up become sahajya. Too much of liberty means sahajya. And too much of following rules and regulation means that you are not doing bhakti. So we have to really be maintaining ourselves at the level. You don't have to become sahajya also. Sahajya means the full naam to gopi ban gaye hain. You will see men wearing lipstick, wearing gopi dress in Vrindavan. You can go. But see, when this happened in Vrindavan and Prabhupada, the disciples wrote him letter that one person is coming disturbing. He said, you kick him with a rod. When they bit him, he was started to slang them. He said, what are you? You are a devotee of slang? Which means you're just trying to create some scene there and create a drama. You're not a devotee if you are using bad words. So process, following the process is important. Yeah. All right. Okay. Anybody wants to add anything on that? There are many senior devotees here. Okay. So if no other question, no other comments, shall we end the session?
Prabhuji, one
Hare Krishna.
final Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Prabhuji, in the last part of the session, you are saying about dealing with the devotees should be very good. Or
Thank you,
unknowingly we
Prabhu.
have done something wrong to a devotee. How to know? Sometimes we will be in a situation we don't even know that we have done wrong to that particular devotee. So how to realize that mistake and how to rectify that mistake, Prabhuji?
Yeah. So how to realize is very difficult actually. That realization will come only maybe with time, because if things are not going right, maybe you feel you have done some upradha against someone. Situation can be two. You know that devotee, you don't know the devotee. If you know, looks like against this devotee I did something that I spoke to him in this way and it should not have done. Go and directly tell him that I have done upradha. Kindly, forgive me. He will say, no, 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 I don't feel bad. But still you say, no, forgive me. And the second situation can be, you don't know. There, I have heard what you should do. You should do pranams to Dhartima and say that knowingly, unknowingly, I've committed some aparadha against some Vaishnava. I don't know whose. Kindly, on my behalf, let this pranams reach to his lotus feet. You just give pranams to Dhartima and say, kindly, this, please, this pranam should reach the lotus feet of that Vaishnava whom I knowingly or unknowingly, because I don't know, but I feel something I've done. Then you're not happy inside, even you're doing everything properly. You may do some Vaishnava. So these are the two ways you can deal with it. Okay, Mataji?
What are the two ways, Prabhuji?
When you know the Vaishnava, the devotee, go to him and directly tell him. When you don't know, you give pranams to Dhartima and say that to convey the pranams to the lotus feet of the Vaishnava.
Okay. Okay.
That is why Nam Aparadha is to blaspheme the devotees or dedicated the lives of prayer in the holy Lord. That's the very first one. And Vaishnav Kriya Mudra is difficult to understand. We may form opinions in our mind. We don't know. Even Nityanand Prabhu, people are saying, oh, he's too flamboyant. You see, he's wearing gold, he's wearing rings. He's not Balaram. We don't know really what's going on in the mind of a Vaishnava. After all, he's dedicated his life. It's not easy. It's not easy to wear saffron. It's not easy to decide not to marry. It's not easy to dedicate his life. Please respect him for that. Please respect him for that. Is it easy to not have a family? It's not easy. Please respect him for that. We have not been able to do that in our lives. So if somebody has done it, let's respect him for that. He's living in a temple. Of course, he's not getting indulged in sense gratification. Somehow or the other, is serving the Lord. Let's respect him for that. Are we living in a temple? No. Then if we do not have the courage to take that decision, let's respect the person who's taken the decision. So don't blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives of providing the Lord. Okay? Yeah. ओके चलेंगे धन्यवाद वांछा कल्पतरुवश कृपा सिंधु एवच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Jai.
रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की
Hi.
पाद की जय हरे कृष्णा प्रणाम
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
सॉरी